Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you guys are having a nice time. Here I'm gonna do a landscape painting. I love doing landscape painting. So I'm gonna do a painting of just a tree with some lucky money as Chinese New Year is coming up soon. So yep, what inspired me to do this painting is I walked past this tree in DJ's. I was actually outside of DJ's, and yeah, I saw they had some kind of a decoration that they had inside with like a tree branch and some like coins or some sort of gold type of decorations. So that's kind of what I'm gonna do today at the moment. So all you need is a little canvas. You can get this at any art supply or whatever. I just got this from when I was like studying before, so I had some leftover canvas. And yeah, all you have to do is get some double-sided tape. Here I've got that, and I'm just basically just going to do this, just take it out, and that way it helps to and this one doesn't want to come out, that way it helps to stick onto the other side of the page, so then we won't get this all ruffled or whatever. Okay, there we go. So yeah, what we want is this side. So all we want to do is just stick that in. That's okay if it's just two-sided or whatever. We're gonna paint on top of it. So because it's Chinese New Year, we only just need 3 basic colors. So we need red, yellow, and black. Oh, and I forgot to mention that I'll be using acrylics. So yep, let's get this started. So all you need are a paint palette. So if you don't have one of these, you can use newspaper or a piece of paper to put your paint on, and acrylic paint. So these are the ones that I'm going to be using. So don't know if you can see that. Yep. As for the golden part, I've actually got three other yellows that I may or may not be using. I haven't really quite decided, but see how it goes. Not sure if you can see that. Just let's have a look. Yes, so I haven't decided which yellow I'm going to use for like the golden part, but we'll just see how it goes. So now we're just going to put that aside and let's get started. So what I'm going to use is the different paint brushes that I'm going to be using. So for starters, I'm going to be using this brush for the background. This is pretty good for, like, if you're doing like big backgrounds or whatever. It's pretty useful. And yeah, and as for like these ones, you can see that they're more pretty good for doing fine lines and things like that. So yeah, they're quite good. I really love doing fine line work. So I'm only just going to be using 2 or 3 different types of paint brushes to do my paintings. So Yep, so I'm probably gonna use either one of these three or whatever, but see how it goes. Okay, now another thing that we want to do is once before we get started, sometimes it's a bit hard to see, like, because you see that it's red, but it looks a bit more orange, as you can see or tell. Don't know if you can see that. But sometimes it's always good to just test it out and see how it goes. And another thing is, before you start painting, it's always good to have fresh water. Make sure it's clean. You don't want to start painting with like dirty water or anything as well. And also another thing is to have a paper towel with you, or like tissue or a towel to dry off your brushes as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to try out, because I have used this color before. It's definitely red. I haven't used this, so let's just give this a go, and we'll just try it out on a piece of paper first before we actually start doing on our canvas. So what you want to do is you just want to squirt like a little bit of red paint on there, and you can see that it's pretty red. It's a bit dark, hard to see, but okay, so what we want to do is get our paintbrush and just kind of dab it in. Make sure that's the color you want. Test it out. Say okay. Well, because we want the whole palette to be red, so you really just want to paint on top of it just to get that red, you know, the dark red color. And another thing, it's always good to use Google as references to look at some different inspirations as well. So I'm just going to get that, give that a try. Let's have a look. I hope I have enough time to do this, because you know how sometimes, you know, you've got so much stuff on your card, and ooh, this looks a bit orange. No, this is not orange at all. Okay, because in the light it looks orange, but you know, sometimes. See, it's always good to test it out before you actually start painting. Okay, now that's definitely orange. This one's more of an orange red, so I'm going to use this one because this one seems to be a bit more redder than this one, but that's okay. We're just going to keep layering it until we get what we want. And with acrylic paint, they do tend to dry fast, dry quickly, so you want to make sure that, you know, you kind of get what you want. But what I usually like to do is just paint over. Okay, so I'm going to use that much of red, and so what we want to do, I'm going to use this one. This, oh, can we see? Oh, hold on. So I'm going to use this brush. I used a smaller brush earlier before just to kind of test it out. Let's have a look. Ah, here we go. So now what we want to do is we want to make our paintbrush wet. Nice and wet. Okay, now we just want to do this. On the topic of Chinese New Year, what are some things you guys like to do, or what are some things you do on Chinese New Year? I don't really know what I do sometimes. I generally like to stay home or kind of have dinner or hang out with friends and whatnot, and look at some events that are happening around Sydney, because there's always things going around in the city area if you're in the area. And usually in Darling Harbour there's always dragon boat race, which I haven't seen, but I should go and check it out. And there's always events happening around the city area, so go ahead, check it out. You know, there's lots of exciting fun things to do when you're around the city. Yeah, so guys aren't from around here, that's okay, you can always Google it. Yeah. Okay, I apologize about that. My mom had just had to come in to give me some food, but I didn't really want it, so destroyed my video recording thing. Kidding. Anyway, so yep. So another thing that you want to do is when you're doing your artwork is sometimes it's good to continue painting until the brush runs out of paint, just so you know you don't want to waste the paint or whatever, and then just grab some more if you need any, and yeah, sometimes it's also good to add a bit of water as well, because you don't want to make it too thick, you just want to make it just enough to fill up the whole thing, and you don't want to get any marks on it as well. So that's another thing. I've just added some water. Okay. Now, some of you guys may have seen my other 3 paintings that I've done. So I might do it in that kind of style, because I like doing line work. I can't even speak English properly. Yeah, I love doing line art type of work, you know, just drawing lines and, you know, interesting pattern lines, and yeah, and kind of make it abstract, or you know, something interesting. So I'll just show you. So this is one of them you may have seen. I may do something like this, so you know, with the tree I might put another one here, and then maybe I might put yellow for the pockets, or maybe, well, I can't really do red pocket because you know, the background is already red, although I could do red pocket. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I could do a bit of money coin falling out from the tree, or you know, even red pockets hanging out from the tree. That'd be quite interesting. And here's another one that I did maybe a couple of weeks ago, but yeah, so I'm just trying to use up. I remember back in high school I did visual arts, and I quite enjoyed art, and the teacher would be like, don't waste paint, you shouldn't you shouldn't like use so much paint if you don't need that much paint. But sometimes for me it's like, oh, but I don't know if I need that much, and then I end up using, well, I don't use up like a lot of the paint, but you know, it is kind of a waste if, you know, you pour out so much paint and you find out you don't need that much paint, and you kind of like throw away paint. You're like, oh crap, the paint's wasted and whatnot. Okay, so we're just doing some overlays and kind of just using a bit of water, and let's go over it, make sure that's all covered. You want it to make it good. Oops, what is that? No. Alright. Sometimes it's quite soothing when you're doing your own artwork. It's quite relaxing. It gets like rid of like stress, and it's quite good when you're doing your own artwork. And you know, if you're angry or upset, sometimes it's quite helpful to do a bit of painting, or if you're upset, writing's another good form of getting rid of anger, or poetry. I'm a bit of a poetry person myself, so you know. Okay, cool. Now that the red has all dried up, I'm going to be using this brush. This one is a much more thinner brush than the other. So I'm going to be careful because I've just wetted this. So this one's a bit more smaller than this brush. So I use this brush to do the background. This one's a much more smaller. I like to use this one to like mix the mix the paints together. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to put my paintbrush into the water and kind of mix the paint around. Yep. So now we're up to that stage where we're going to do the tree. Now with the tree, you want to make it a bit more liquidy, just so it makes it more easier to paint. You don't want it to be too thick, but you can always just go over the lines, and just to get that sort of, well, maybe not thickness, just to get the lines that you want. So see how I'm just consistently adding more water just to get it like fine, and you know, just pretty much to how you want it to be, so it's like more liquid like. You don't want it too thick, otherwise the paint might dry out easily, and it just makes things a bit more harder. So with the tree, I'm going to change brush and use a much more thinner brush just to do the very fine lines. So I've got a couple of different brushes here. I've got these 4 brushes at the moment, so I'm going to be using, I sometimes I don't know what I usually use. I think I sometimes use this one for fine lines, but you can see this one's a bit more puffy or poofy as other people like to call it. a bit, yeah, more, yeah, than the rest. So, or I could use this one. I think I'm gonna stick with this one because this one may be a bit more helpful, but I could change. So I've decided on the what colors I'm gonna use for like the red pocket and the money for like good luck, the coin thing. So might actually use all the different colored yellows to do it. So just to make it more interesting and something. Well, I was going to use the word vibrant, but yeah. So I might actually use this brush, and then maybe I can use this brush just to go over the lines and things like that. Okay, let's get started. So now I'm just going to wet my paintbrush. Ooh, I'm a bit nervous now. Actually, this one's a bit too thin. I'll probably use this one. It's probably a bit easier. It's always good to, as I said earlier, to look on the internet for references and see what kind of style you want to do for the tree. And like with this one, I may not like, it's that kind of style, but not that much, but lots of line art. So lost there. So what I'm gonna do is, so I'm just going to kind of freehand draw this. Ooh, sometimes I get a bit nervous when I'm doing my line art. I'll be like, oh no, I stuffed it out, and then realize, because I even do that with pencil as well when I draw like trees or whatever. I stuffed up like my drawing and I'm like, oh, this does not look like a tree at all. So it's always a bit nervous, but try not to be. Now what you want to do is okay, so what you want to do is, so kind of start in the middle, or not necessarily have to be in the middle. Or I could use this as for references. That may help to do my line artwork. Okay, let's have a look. So one will go. To stretch it up because this tree is going to be really big, and so the cool thing about doing artworks and paintings is you kind of have that bit of control as to how you would want your work to look like. So you walk around to parks and things like that, and you can see trees are all have like different shapes and sizes, and not all of them are like straight. So just kind of take your time and kind of just, I realize I keep saying kind of so many times. Let's see, but just take your time. It doesn't necessarily have to be perfect, but that's the beauty of art. Just can pretty much do it however you would like it. to be, and just go with your instincts. I think that's how you say it. Maybe I'll want it some down here as well. See, like, it's more liquidy, and you know, it just makes things easier to get your... Okay, so now you can see I've added like a few lines to it. So now we're ready to move on and add some money or coin, whatever. So I've decided that I'm going to use all three colors, which... So the three yellow, different types of yellows I'm going to be using is... let's have a look. I've probably showed it to you guys before. So this is a I'd maybe call it light yellow. Yep, this one. And then this one is more of a deep yellow. Sorry, it's a bit... Let's have a look. It's quite hard because the lighting's quite bad. Deep yellow, and this one is going to be an orchid yellow. Orchid yellow. I don't know. If you guys can pronounce this, let me know. And yeah. Okay, I better start doing something because acrylic paints can be very easily drawn up. So, and they, not only that it dries quickly, it can go quite hard as well. So with your ones, feel free to do like whatever you want on the side. I might actually put one of those little coins that people use back in the old days. I don't know what you call them, the little money coin things. So I'm just going to use those three yellows, just going to like dab some paint onto the branches. Sorry, it's a bit blurry. I just realized that. Okay, let's get this going. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to do just blobs of yellow paint. Oh, that stands out quite easily. So yeah, you can just do random blobs, and then once that's done, you can feel free to go over it in black if you think you've done a mistake or whatever. And yeah, sometimes what I like to do is just do a few blobs just randomly anywhere, and I'm using a much more thinner brush. Just, you know, it makes things easier, and you can get like really thin lines just to do your artwork and whatnot. So just have fun, you know, doesn't have to be neat or whatever. So art is just a beauty. Yeah. Oops, just add a bit of paint on myself. So just do random dots. See, sometimes when you leave paint too long, especially acrylics, it does tend to go a bit hard. I probably have already mentioned that quite a few times, but you know, just having to see, you know, you put your paintbrush onto the paint and you find out the outer ring of the or not ring, the outer part of your paint palette has turned a little bit hard on the outside, which is why you got to be a little bit quick sometimes when you're painting stuff. I might actually do some that is falling down, kind of like the springtime or autumn, where, you know, the leaves kind of like blows off, or like the autumn leaves or something like that. I'll actually do that. Just make all the money fall down, you know. That'd be quite cool, you know. You hear like a lot of people say, you know, I wish money can fall from the sky, but it doesn't really work that way in this world, at least. But you know, as Chinese New Year is coming up, we get red pockets, so hooray for that. You know, good to save up a bit and whatnot, so it's always fun and exciting to get red pockets. And just enjoy yourself, have a bit of fun. You know, you don't have to rush it, you know, just it's a cool thing about doing painting. You know, and you know, I just recently picked this up. You know, I don't oftenly paint, so you know, just something that I've always wanted to do, and you know, kind of just failed to do landscape painting. Like, even I look at like pictures and, you know, images, you know, back in high school. I've always enjoyed doing landscape art, and there was one artist that I studied on. He's a French artist. It was like Cezanne something, I can't remember. I did a similar artwork, or kind of painting. His one of his painting was kind of like, I should really stop saying kind of. Realize I've been saying it way too many times. Yeah, one of them was like kind of out in the back, and there's just this really nice kind of haystack house type of thing, and with my version it just turned out more like more bright colors, which wasn't exactly how I would want it to look like. Just something similar. I always try to attempt to do it, but I could never do it. And so fast forward, you know, I did graphic design, 2 years diploma, and I enjoyed doing a lot of illustration work. It's one of my passions that I love to do, and yeah, I still do love drawing. I love doing hand-drawn illustration, and you know, once that's done, everything's all computerized with technology and whatnot. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is actually I might go over some, because we don't want. That's another cool thing about acrylics, is that you can go over your own artwork. which is quite interesting. I haven't really experimented with watercolor paint, but I might experiment a bit of that. But as for now, I think maybe acrylics is a to-go for me. And I've noticed in a lot of like t-shirt designs and like even on books and bookmarks and just on all print media, you know, people use watercolor to do their work, which is really amazing. And I kind of think to myself, oh wow, that's like so nice, and you kind of think, oh, how do they do that, you know? But I think it's just really got to kind of practice and just experimenting. I think experimenting is something that I got to work on. So yeah, just, you know, take your time, no rush. You don't want to, you know, overdo it. Or I mean, I think another thing about painting or like fine arts, you have that bit of freedom to explore, and you know, you can't really make any mistakes unless if you want a real perfect art. You know, art's not so much about perfection and whatnot, even though, I suppose it just depends what you do, really. You know, have fun, enjoy it, and you know, if you like what you do, just do it. Do what you love to do. And you know, I think I might actually do some that's kind of falling out from the tree. It's not a bad idea. It's a money tree. You know, all falling out of the tree. I think I've talked enough, but if you have any questions or queries, whatever, feel free to leave a comment and let me know what other things you would want me to explore, or to let me know what other things you want me to paint as well, even, you know, always up for challenges. Mind you, don't ask me to paint a portrait because I can't do portraits, although it is a challenge, yes, but I think I'm more fond of doing landscape artwork. But if you really want me to do it, I can give it a try. Mind you, it might be abstract, so you know, don't mind me if I do a weird funny face or, you know, abstract painting. I wish I can zoom in a bit more. I do have my other lens with me, but I can't really be bothered to grab it. I think in the corners I might do the little things, the little honeycomb. Let's have a look. So yeah, if you like this painting, give me a thumbs up, share it around with your friends, and leave a comment and let me know what you guys think. Yeah, hopefully I can do more of these types of things, as I already have so much free time. But that's what's good about being a freelancer. It's kind of like get to do your own thing and just experiment and learn as you go. You're like, ooh, I didn't know I can do this, or ooh, wow, I can do more with this, and things like that. Might even do something here just to make it more interesting. Like money falling out of the tree. See, to me, I hope this looks okay on camera. See, to me, because I've got that light next to me on this side, as you can probably see or tell, it's a bit hard for me to see or tell how the painting looks like. Like, it's all like, I'm hoping it looks alright. And I know some of you, or a lot of you guys will say, it looks fine, don't worry about it. I know a lot of you guys will say that to me, because, you know, guys are like, oh, if you point it out, then people will notice, and if you don't say anything, people won't realize it at all. You know, like I said, doesn't necessarily have to be perfect, but just go with your instincts and see how you feel. You know, whatever's like you feel is right or is wrong, or you know, you can always, because you don't want to overdo a painting, because otherwise it just won't look too much. I mean, otherwise it won't look too well, because people say, you know, simple is the best way to go, and that's true. Simplicity is great, is awesome. Let's put some down here. Hopefully everyone will get their red pockets, you know, be lucky. Apparently, it's what yellow means. Lucky. Yellow means lucky. As for red, I don't actually know what red stands for. Comment below, let me know what red stands for. I should know, I was like born here in Australia, but oh well, that's right. Okay, I think I'm pretty okay with that. I don't know if I should add something here or whether I should leave it. See, I don't know if you can see, I put way too much paint in my palette, and wasting. I don't know if you guys can see. Oh, there we go. Yeah, see, there's like so much paint. Oh my gosh! Ah! It's a lot of paint. Well, I think that kind of wraps it up. Alright, like I said, give me thumbs up, share this with all your friends, and leave a comment. Again, yes, on the tree, on the individual money queen. And yeah, I hope you guys all have a happy Chinese New Year, and may you all have a nice health, and yeah, alright, thanks. I'll see you next time on Bernie's Print. I haven't really decided on a name for myself yet, but I'm just gonna call it that. See you next time on Bernie. Actually, I'm gonna call it Bernie's artwork. I could call it that. Anyways, leave a comment, let me know, give me some name suggestions, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.